The winner of the title of Best Jurassic World Evolution 2 map is very surprising. When I started the tournament to let you all decide which of the 14 maps in the game is the absolute best, most people predicted that there would be a very clear winner. It's big, it's beautiful, it has a beach and has one of the new biomes. Somehow though, it was not voted as the best. In this video I want to discuss the results of the tournament, but mostly I want to showcase all of the maps in the game as something you can use when you are deciding where to build your next park. And I will be showing them in the order of my personal ranking. And let me tell you, I do not agree with the democratically elected winner. In case you missed it, which is exactly why you should subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss anything, I hosted a map tournament on the channel. In daily community polls, 2 maps battled it out to move on to the next round until eventually we had one victor. San Diego beat Arizona, California beat Canada, Pennsylvania bested Oregon. Of the Nublars, the 1993 map was voted superior, Germany won over the United Kingdom, and in the last battle of round 1, Washington State proved victorious over Northwest USA. In the quarterfinals, 2 wildcards were introduced, Southwest USA and Sorna, but neither stood a chance. California lost to the Autumn Appeal of Pennsylvania, and predictably, Germany secured itself a spot in the semifinals where it took out Pennsylvania. In the movie map category, Nublar in 1993 beat San Diego. So in the finale, we had the expected winner, Germany, and the classic Nublar in 1993. And you already know what happened. Germany lost and Nublar won the title with an overwhelming majority. The reason this surprises me so much is because Nublar is a tropical map, and I kind of thought we were sick of that biome after Jurassic World Evolution 1. And on top of that, it took on Nublar 2015 in the first round and won. It basically won against a bigger and easier to build on version of itself. Several people named the waterfall as a compelling reason to vote for the 1993 version. So there you have it. On the merits of a waterfall and presumably the nostalgia, Nublar 1993 won the title of Best Map in Jurassic World Evolution 2. According to the majority at least, I do not agree with this ruling, and you might be surprised how low I personally rank this title holder. For the rest of the video, I will be showcasing the maps in my order of preference, starting with my least favorite and working up to the one that I consider to be the very best. I invite you to share your own ranking or maybe just your top picks in a comment down below. And of course, if you want to see what kind of cool parks I will be building on these maps, subscribe to the channel and hopefully you will be inspired for your own builds. The Southwest USA map is described as large, but I think in practice that's a little bit deceptive because of how the map is designed, with so many cutouts in the map to allow for these rock formations. If we go into map view, honestly, when I loaded into this map for the very first time, it blew me away with the scenery, and then very shortly afterwards came the pain and despair and confusion and anger. Honestly, yes, this map makes me a little bit angry because it is so beautiful, but with the way it's designed, I just don't really enjoy building here. It's a very difficult and restrictive map to build on because of what they did to it. I am fully aware that the expanded map mod completely transforms this map, but I can't take that into consideration when I'm doing my own ranking. That is just based on what Frontier gave us, and what Frontier gave us here was very frustrating. I'm also not the biggest fan personally of the desert biome because the trees that we have available in it are very minimal. Ginkgo trees save a lot though, but it does also feel a little bit out of place. Let's be honest. So I'm not the biggest fan of desert maps to begin with. Sorna Side B was one of the wildcard maps in the tournament because we had to have 2 wildcard maps because of the 14 contestant sort of format. But I've never really heard a lot of people mention Sorna as their favorite map, which is why I chose it to be one of the wildcards. And predictably, even though it got a head start in the tournament, it did not even make it through its first battle. And that probably has to do with the fact that it is quite small, and as is in typical Frontier form, it is separated into 3 kind of arbitrary sections. Now, of course, the map. Oh God, I did not mean to do that. Of course, the map does have cool Easter eggs. Like we have the aviary all the way in the background. Hold on. There you go. The aviary. There's the facility. We have the airport, or the well, yeah, I mean, there are buildings there, sure, more like the airstrip, and also the parachute. I always forget where it is, but it is here somewhere, the parachute. Can I find it? There you go. I was just gonna say, it's like a game of Where's Waldo. Well, there it is. There's the parachute. So, it has cool Easter eggs, but the buildable area is just, is a bit of a letdown. It's not even all that bad. We're not talking like Penna levels of bad here, although it is nice that we have the water surrounding it. Downside being is that the border of the map stops just short of the beach. Really, Frontier, that could have been such a simple way to improve the appeal of this map. Just let us get closer to the water so we can get rid of this strip of trees over here, and we can get some nice views going for our guests. Create like a little resort. Oh my god, it would be so good. Also, it's just a shame that the airstrip is just out of reach, and again, that we can't even get rid of these trees over here. So, from a ground perspective, guests never see the airstrip, which makes it more difficult to incorporate into like the story of your park. The campaign maps were only recently made available in Sandbox, but thank God that did happen, because some of them I really love having in Sandbox for my creative park building. Arizona, not that much for me, even though it has the better buildable area than compared to San Diego. Some way, somehow, it does lack the X factor that the San Diego map has, and I'm just less drawn to desert maps overall due to the way the biome looks. Now, I do like building on a desert map from time to time for the sake of variation. I'm just not particularly gravitated towards building here. The United Kingdom is one of the smaller maps in the game, and that is such a shame, because I do think that it has so much potential with just how it looks. It's absolutely beautiful, with its peninsula in the distance. Let us fly over there. It's actually a very nicely designed map, so it is a shame that the buildable area available to us is quite limited. For example, it's also really a shame that we cannot reach the beach area. It's separated into 3 sections which connect to each other with these narrow straits in between. Very reminiscent of the first Jurassic World Evolution. We saw that a lot. This is almost Penna-esque. The individual sections are a little bit more forgiving for building on than the sections of Penna were, but it does remind me a lot of that, and the UK, unfortunately, as a result, never stood a chance in the tournament, and also for me, it's why I ranked it the way I did. It does come with the same benefits in terms of the biome as Germany, that you get nice foliage. What I'm really a fan of is that we have the redwood trees in this biome, because that's a nice mix. That's a nice way to mix it up for certain exhibits. Welcome to Oregon, yet another one of the beautiful alpine maps in the game. It is such a shame that we cannot get closer to the water than we can. This map would have been aided so much if it took a similar approach to Canada, where we can get right up until the water's edge. In terms of the buildable area, it's pretty decent. It's not bad, it's not excellent, but at least it's not separated into different sections. It's just one open space. I like this biome. I like the foliage we have available in this biome. So really all that's holding it back is the medium size and the fact that, you know, the tree line still obstructs our water view, our lake view. Those are like little nitpicky things for me that do stand out, and that made me think, do you hate us, Frontier? Like, do you hate us? Do you like tormenting us like this? The appeal of the San Diego map for most people, as it appeared from the comments, was rooted in the city that we have in the background. I can hardly see it from this perspective, but there it is, the city in the background, and the amphitheater? Where is it? There are two ways to load into this map. If you load into it with the terrain flattened, the amphitheater disappears. If you load into it with any of the other settings, the amphitheater is still there for you to enjoy and to use in your park builds. For the purpose of this video, I loaded into it without the amphitheater, although I will agree that that definitely is an appeal to this map that I am taking into account for my ranking. The map itself is okay, I guess. It's not particularly huge, and it's really held back by this, I want to say mountain, but it's more a steep hill, really. This section over here. Just a shame that Frontier felt the need to put this in. Honestly, I don't see why. You know, I understand the motivation here for stuff like challenge mode, chaos theory mode. I don't know why they couldn't have just made it so that when you play this map in sandbox, stuff like this disappears. But you know, that's all I'll say about that. Now, I'm personally not the biggest fan of the desert biome. I find it a little bit dull to work with, because to make it look natural, by design it just has to really lack trees, and that makes the whole park look very uniform and a little bit boring, a little bit undecorated. So that for me holds back any desert map in my own personal ranking. The winner of the map tournament, but hashtag not my map, is Nublar 1993. One of the main things that was mentioned by people who voted for this map was the waterfall, the appeal of the waterfall. For me personally, that's not enough to make this the number one map that we have available in the game. For me, what holds it back is the fact that it's the tropical biome, and I have over 1,000 hours in Jurassic World Evolution 1, all of that with the tropical biome. So for me, the alternative biomes that Jurassic World Evolution 2 introduces really have a bigger appeal. It is also surprising that Nublar 1993 beat out what is essentially its bigger cousin, Nublar 2015, which is the bigger and more flexibly shaped map, in the sense that it's just one giant area, whereas Nublar 1993 has this little area over by the waterfall and this section down below. This map also has two minor downsides. The first of which is that this map does not offer the redwood trees. Like, the closest you can come to it is this type of tree, but it's not the same. The other downside is the fact that the waterfall looks beautiful now, but if we go into sandbox settings and we actually change it to just day, which is my preferred setting for building, because I don't like building at night, then this happens. The waterfall, this entire section, is cast in really dark, sharp shadows. And that obviously never changes because it's set to a certain time of day. I think that's a design flaw for me personally. If I would have designed this map, this level, I would have made daytime have the sun be oriented a little bit differently so that we get sunlight in this section so the waterfall can be most enjoyable. Now, that's not to say that it's a horrible map. I agree, you know, with the people that it is a good map for sure. I'm building on this map currently during the weekly live streams and I'm really having fun with it. It looks great and I get the appeal of this map, of this biome, because, you know, it's a classic. It allows you to build a park that feels true to what we know from the franchise, but it's not exciting enough for me. The Northwest USA map is mind-blowingly gorgeous. It is absolutely fantastic, and I think pretty much unrivaled when it comes to the views. Location, location, location is absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, the map does come with downsides, the main one being just the size of it. It's described as medium. It is separated into 3 sections, as you can see over here. There is a bit of a mountain range in between that separates this first part into 2 parts. I think it would have already been a big help if they had removed this limitation smack dab in the middle of that. And we have this little appendix hanging off of it over here. It would have been lovely if this was just one large continuous building space. But the biome is really nice. It's very different from what we got in the first game, and that's just a breath of fresh air to me. And I really love building on this map. It's just a shame that it isn't bigger. I am a huge fan of the taiga and alpine biome that we get in Jurassic World Evolution 2. This map is so beautiful. I absolutely love it. One improvement that I noticed right away first time loading into it is that we can't quite get to the edge of the water, which is a bit of a shame. I would have loved to be able to get rid of this patch of trees over there and really open up the view to this lake because it's absolutely gorgeous. It has a pretty decent buildable area as we look over here. A very simple shape to it. For me, what really sells it is the biome. I'm absolutely in love with the with the trees, with the snow, with all of that stuff. So I'm just very excited about this map. Here we are on the biggest and easiest to build on maps in the game, Nublar 2015. It's just a wide open space surrounded by mountains, surrounded by jungle. It's easy to build on because it's not separated into those arbitrary sections that Frontier likes to do. For me, it's not my favorite map, even though it is the biggest and the most easily shaped of the bunch. Just because of the tropical biome. I'm a little bit done with the tropical biome. I've said that before in this video and I'll say it again. I'm a little bit done with it, so it doesn't have the same wow factor to me that it would have had in 2018, for example. And here's just a look at the map. I also want to talk about one more downside, which is comparable to a downside I discussed for Nublar in 1993. If we go over here and we actually set it to day, that's this way, and we load back into it, we see that just like with Nublar 1993, we have a part of the map that is permanently in the shadows due to these huge mountains, and I find that a bit of a shame. It's not as bad as it is on Nublar in 1993, because it's not hiding or diminishing the appeal of one of the main attractions of the map. But it is a bit of a shame that we get these sharply casted shadows from the surrounding mountains. Ah, Pennsylvania, my beloved. A lot of people probably thought that I was gonna rank this number one, because I was not so secretly rooting for it to make it quite far or even win the tournament, just because this map stole my heart. But I can't quite get myself to make it number one for several reasons. As much as I love this map, I really do. First and foremost, while the trees here are absolutely gorgeous, and when I saw it for the first time, this map absolutely blew me away, and it still does when I load into it. But at the same time, I can imagine that, you know, after building a couple of parks in such a distinct biome, it's probably going to get a little bit exhausting, a little bit samey, because it's just such a, like I said, such a distinct look. It so strongly dictates what your park is going to look like with these colors. So that's why, just for that quote-unquote replayability, I'm pulling it down in the ranking a little bit, and one of the other things that's holding it back is just a missed opportunity from Frontier, and I've said this a lot during this video, and that is that it's just such a shame that the border of the buildable area stops short of something exciting in the background, and I wouldn't even be asking to get access to the actual airport, but just have the edge of the map, the border, just follow right alongside the airport. That way we can get rid of the trees, so we can actually sort of incorporate the airport into our park, really use it for our own story. I think it would be really cool to have the park entrance right by the airport, to really make it seem like guests land on the airport and can then visit your park. That would have been so cool. Alas, Frontier did not deliver on that. And of course, the other thing is that it's not one of the biggest maps. It's not one of the smallest either. I think people really underestimate the size of Pennsylvania. It's not really that bad. You can build a really decent park over here, and it is helped by the fact that it has a very simple shape, and I really love it. And just, man, these trees, they're so good. And we also have the redwood trees, and yes, that is a big selling point for me. Love those. Not as much as you. Don't worry. Not as much as you. You are GOAT. Canada is a really gorgeous map. I absolutely love this view. I love that we can build right up onto the water over here. Not onto the water, but until the water. Like, the border of the map is right there. So you can create these really nice scenes for your guests or backdrops for your exhibits with this beautiful lake and the mountains in the back. The map itself has, let me fly up, has a pretty sizable midsection. It's not huge. It's even described as medium in the sandbox map overview. And we have two little bits on the side. We have this one, which is the better sized of the two. And then on the far side, all the way over there, is another small section. And you can really use those for big exhibits with like tours and stuff, or maybe dedicated guest sections, have the monorail go over there. For me personally, what really sells me on this map is the biome. I'm absolutely in love with this biome. It's not just beautiful at a sunny day like we have right now, but I also really enjoy that we get plenty of snowfall on this map, which transforms your entire park. I think that is so cool. And here is a map overview of Canada to end its showcase with. the German map was one of the finalists, and it was actually the map that most people guessed would win the tournament overall. It was the most mentioned map as being everyone's favorite, in the comments at least, but the votes told a different story once it went head to head with Nublar 1993. The appeal of Germany is really not difficult to guess. It is one of the biggest maps in the game. It is described as large. It consists of 3 sections. The grassy main section. There's a little area off to that side. And of course, the big seller of this map is the beach section. So it's a very, very, very popular map. It's also one of the maps that I personally gravitate towards a lot due to its size. I like the biome. I like the foliage that we have available in this biome. We get a nice mix. For example, we also get our redwood trees in this biome, so I think that makes it a really nice map to build on. It has a good usable space. The beach has quite a unique appeal. It has downsides too, however, which is that it's not just one large open space. It is separated into these separate sections. So usually what I end up doing is I do my facility stuff over here, you know, all of the necessary buildings for constructing and populating a park, really. And then you have your main section and your beach. And for me, it is a downside to have a map separated into sections like that, because it does force you to build a certain way. There's not as much flexibility as you would get with just one big open map. And here we have it, my favorite map in the game and one of the recent additions, Yosemite Park. It wins me over with the biome, which I've mentioned throughout this video that I'm absolutely in love with. It has a great view and it has a really good size as well. Yes, unfortunately, it is broken up by these absolutely useless and infuriating hills/mountains that Frontier has some sort of contractual obligation to include. I don't know why. I think there's some sort of sadist in that regard, but regardless of that, if you look at it like this central section is pretty dang big, and then you get these areas around it as well. I will admit right away, I haven't even built a full sandbox park in this map. So maybe I'm jumping the shark with this ruling, but I'm absolutely in love with the look of this map, and I am antsy to get to build on this map. And maybe once I do, all of this stuff is just going to annoy me endlessly. That's a risk I am willing to take. At the moment, this is just, when I look purely at the map, at what it has to offer, this is the one that excites me the most. The view, the size, the biome, most importantly, it's just, man, it's all good. It's all good, man. I love this map. Looking at this makes me want to play the Isle. Good thing that is exactly what we're gonna do next Saturday for the live stream. We're taking a little bit of a break of Jurassic World Evolution 2 sandbox park building for some other dinosaur action. So if you want to join that, then subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you get notified when I go live. If you're not interested in the Isle, I also go live plenty of times for Jurassic World Evolution 2. So if you do want to see more content for this game, then please consider subscribing to the channel. We're on our way to 90,000 subscribers, and that is absolutely crazy to say. Now, before I end this video, I really want to invite you to share your own ranking in a comment down below. If you don't want to do a full ranking of all 14 maps, maybe just do your top 3, or just shout from the top of your lungs what your #1 favorite map in the game is. I really want to know. Do you agree with the tournament? Do you agree with my ranking? Or do you have an entirely different vision altogether? Please share it in a comment down below. Leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it, if the showcases were at least helpful to help you decide on your next location for your next park build. And like I said, subscribe for more. All right. What What am I getting a notification for? Oh, a storm. I can turn those off in Sandbox though, so that's not a consideration. But look at this nice fog. It's nice. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and until next time, enjoy the game.